Good morning, children. Welcome to biology class. Today we'll do morphology of flowering plants. Chapter 5. So, children, what is morphology? So, it is the branch of biology which deals with the form, structure, and relative position of various organs of the living organism. So, why this morphology is important? Because it gives the knowledge for essential organs for recognition and identification. It also provides important criteria for classification. It gives the information of various species found on this earth. It also provides the essential knowledge for the various aspects of plant life like anatomy, physiology, ecology, genetics, and it also helps in finding the deficiency and toxicity symptoms which occurs in plants due to shortage or excess of minerals. So let's come to morphology of flowering plants. So as you know, a typical flowering plant, it has two main parts, the root system and the shoot system. Now root, they are the non-green part of the plant which grow away from the sunlight as they are negatively phototropic and they are positively geotropic and they does not contain the nodes and the internodes. So what are the characteristics of roots? So roots, they develop from the radicle of the embryo which are present in the seed. As I told you children that they are negatively phototropic, that they grow downwards into the soil away from the light. As they are non-green, so they do not synthesize their food. It does not bear the leaves and the buds. The apex of the root, it is subterminal because the tip it is protected by thimble-like structure known as root cap. Numerous unicellular root hairs are present near the tips of finer branches of the roots to increase the surface for absorption of water and minerals. Now, what are the functions of root? So, it has primary and secondary functions. In primary functions, roots anchor or fix the plant to the substratum or the soil. They are also meant for absorbing the water and minerals from the soil with the help of the root hair, and they are also helpful in transport of the absorbed water and minerals to the stem through the xylem. Now secondary functions include different modified root, like in some roots they are meant for storage of food. Some roots they form the root nodules which helps in nitrogen fixation. So different types of secondary functions are there according to the modification of root. Now children, here figure 5.1, it shows the different zones of the root. So moving up in upward direction, number 1 is the meristematic zone, or we can say that below meristematic zone is a root cap. Now this root cap, it is present in most of the root tip and it protects the root tip. Now next to root cap is the meristematic zone, which is the zone of growth, and here the cell division takes place due to which root grows. Now after that zone of elongation, here the cells are present. They do not multiply but they helps in the elongation and enlargement of the root. Then after that present the zone of maturation. Here the cells differentiated into epidermis, vascular bundles are there, and root hairs are here which are meant for absorbing the water. So most of the absorption is done by this part. Now after the zone of maturation comes the zone of differentiated cells where it lost the absorption part and no cell differentiation is here. Now it helps to support and provide protection to the root. Next is Next is the stem. So the stem, it arises from the plumule of the embryo and it forms the main axis of the plant. It bears the leaf, branches, and it constitutes the shoot system of the plant. So what are the characteristics of stem? So stem, it forms the ascending part of the main axis of the plant and it develops from the plumule. It grows away from soil towards the light. That is, it is negatively geotropic and positively phototropic. It has well-marked nodes and internodes. Branches and leaves, they arise at the nodes. Now the young stem, it is green in color and it also helps in photosynthesis process. The growing apex of the stem, it bears a terminal bud and it often bears multicellular hair. Lateral branches, they also arise and they are exogenous in origin. Stem and its branches, they bear the flowers and the fruit. Again, stem, it also has two main functions, the primary functions and the secondary functions. In primary functions, it includes the supporting. So the stem supports the leaves and the branches. It conducts water and minerals from the roots to the leaves and it also synthesizes food from leaves to the roots and the storage organ. It bears the fruits and the flower. In secondary functions, it again concerned with the modification of stem, like sometimes it stores food, sometimes an underground stem and it like ginger and turmeric. It helps to tide over the unfavorable conditions. It also does the process of vegetative propagation. It also helps in photosynthesis. It also helps in production and it also supports the weak stem or the weak plants. Now comes the morphology of leaf. So children, leaf, it is a thin, flattened green outgrowth of the stem or its branch which are borne at a node and they are having a bud in its axil. Now the chief function of leaf is the photosynthesis. Collectively, leaves constitute the foliage of the plant. So here is the diagram of a typical leaf, that it has petiole, veinlets, then leaf margin, apex, veins, midrib, lamina or the leaf base, axillary bud. So the leaf, it is a lateral, dissimilar and flattened appendage of a stem. It always borne at the node of the stem. It has axillary bud which is present in the axil of a leaf. It is exogenous in origin. They develop from the swollen leaf primordium of the growing apex and its growth is limited. They do not possess any apical bud or the growing point. Now the leaves develop in an acropetal, that means produce one after other from base to off apex. Now leaf lamina, it is transversed by prominent vascular stands called the veins. So again, the functions of leaf, primary and secondary functions. In primary functions, photosynthesis, exchange of gases, transpiration, conduction of water and food are included. As you know children, photosynthesis, that the leaves, they manufacture organic food by the process of photosynthesis with the help of green pigment called chlorophyll. Now exchange of gases is done through stomata which are present on the leaf surface, which are necessary for the photosynthesis and respiration. Now in transpiration, stomata also helps in the ascent of sap and also in keeping the leaf surface cool. And it also does the process of conduction of water and food through the vascular elements in the veins and petiole present in the leaf. The secondary functions include again modifications of different leaves like storage of food and water. They also support like various leaves like leaf apex, lamina, petiole, stipules. Sometimes they get modified into tendrils to help the weak plants to climb in search of light and air. It also does the process of protection, like in the form of spines, which provide protection from the browsing animals and to reduce the water loss through transpiration. It also helps in pollination because in some plants the leaves they are brightly colored to attract the insect for pollination. Then floral leaves are also there, which are modified into sepals, petals, stamens, and carpels to carry out reproduction. They also do nitrogenous nutrition, like in insectivorous plants. They are modified into insect traps to capture the insect. They also do storage of water, like in xerophytic plants. Succulent leaves, they store water, mucilage or latex to protect plant from desiccation. They also do hygroscopic function, like sometimes they are modified into hygroscopic appendages to absorb moisture from atmosphere. They also do vegetative propagation, like sometimes they bear adventitious buds and help in vegetative propagation. And they also do floating, like in aquatic plants, the petiole they stores air and provides buoyancy, and plant can float in on the water. So this is all for today, children. In our next class, we'll continue further. Till then, thank you and have a nice day.